have another question for you folks, and hello again. This one is about happiness, and I would like to know what is happiness relative? Um, I guess the short answer is yes, but to me, it seems like there is still some base. Can you allow for a certain level of misery in your life? Just things that you expect are going to happen and still consider yourself happy. And I ask this because, and I'm sure I've mentioned a girlfriend of mine who's in an unhappy marriage is the one who, has the physically abusive husband. And we were talking last week about something, and I was telling her about this group that I'm on. It's a Ning group, social group, and one of the members had a question about marriage, and I told her how I responded. I feel like we should be honest, and that I'm not sure if I'll ever do it because I don't have one family member who experienced a happy marriage, um, at least without not being divorced at least once or twice. Um, there's just not I have a 100% fail rate on both sides of my family when it comes to marriage. Even with cousins who are in my generation, just nobody got married and stayed married, and if they got married again, that their marriages just were unhappy by their own admissions, the things that they tell me. And this is important because I am not the type of person to call you up and say, what's going on in your marriage? How are you doing? How are you guys doing? If anything's wrong, tell everybody. You spill like your beans. Like, that's not me. I don't ask anything. If I know anything bad about your marriage or anything good, if I know anything about your marriage at all, it's because you told me. I just sit and listen. I don't let people. I don't, intrude on people's privacy. Um, which is why I got the impression that my girlfriend was unhappy. Like I told you about the physical abuse. Um, she told me that I didn't, come up to her and see any bruises because you never do on her. I didn't walk up and see any bruises or see her unhappy and ask her what's wrong. She is always the one to say, well, so, my husband did this, my husband did that. We went through this. She volunteers this to you, so, and, maybe I was being presumptuous, but, a man is, beating around in your ass if he's cheating on you left and right, and you catch him. To me, that's an unhappy marriage, right? So I was telling her my response that I think at most I would try and have a companionship with someone, a long-lasting companionship that I would have no trouble walking away from should things go bad, because everyone I know has experienced a bad marriage. Either they are divorced or on second and third marriages that are on their way to divorce. And so she was saying that, well, my marriage is not necessarily unhappy, and I just think I need to do something. I can't remember what she said, but then she said, what, I need to, I think it's time for me to step away because I don't like where this conversation is going. And I'm not quite sure if she was directing that at me. I was puzzled because our boss was having a conversation right behind us, and I don't know what she was talking about. And someone else was having a conversation across the way, and she was kind of looking in all directions. So I don't know if she was looking at one of them, listening to their conversations, and it was, something work related that she didn't want to hear, or she just didn't want to go there with me. So, but for the sake of this recording, we're going to say she stepped away from my conversation. She didn't say it in a nasty way. I didn't get offended. But I am, if our conversation was the one she stepped away from, I am curious because how is it that you tell us, our other, consorts, on our floor, she comes to us and she tells us all of these things that she's going through with her husband, that her husband does, that, he doesn't really bring home any money, he doesn't really contribute to the bill, she has to, she's like carrying all the weight, and he's not good with his kids, he's not good with her kids, if they do anything extracurriculars, because just all of these things. And that would lead me to say that is an unhappy marriage because it's unbalanced. To me, I feel like anything that has unbalance cannot be happy. But, just then, and this is like, a couple months ago she was talking about divorce. Well, how can you be happy if you're talking about divorce? But things change, I guess, and now she's saying that she's happy. And so I guess that's why I'm asking you, viewers, listeners, if happiness is relative. To me, I just think that she's confused. And I think that maybe she got a little sensitive at that particular point, in time, because there's no way that I can see that she could get offended that I said that, imply that she's in an unhappy marriage, considering all the things that she's volunteered to me. What else am I supposed to think? And if you're open enough to come discuss it, then I think I'm open enough to, use your example and an opinion I formed. Maybe she was just in a mood, but, YouTube, what do you think? What do you think? Is happiness relative? Let me know.